DeFi Kingdoms, where you can summon heroes, trade with other players, quest, and fight challenging enemies in a fantasy world brought to life in pixel art animation. Command your legion, claim your legacy.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's AMA with, you guessed it, the DeFi Kingdoms team. Be funny if we just brought up another team one week, just really threw things off. Anyway, hello, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to everybody who is tuning in live, as well as those of you that will listen to this recording later also. To kick things off, we're going to mix it up a little bit here because everybody has an update. So we're going to go around the horn, and I'm going to start with Winston. Winston, how are you doing today, and who are you fighting?
Oh, man, this little camera cover thing. Hey, Bolon, I'm fine. I'm actually not feeling so good. I haven't been feeling this very good this week. But I'm fine. Thanks for asking. Again, thanks for asking. I am fighting Ibla. Should be a lot of fun. We're doing some wizards, and we're doing a kind of a lower level bout. We're doing level 6. Still plenty of time to vote on that. And hey, it looks like I finally got some votes. I was a little nervous that nobody was going to vote for me, but now I've got like 22% of the votes. So great. That's great. I'm going to try to do a good job and do you guys proud here and just hang in there as best I can. So that's about the one starting in a moment, or well, about 7 minutes actually, is going to be 9748. And then the other one is 9747, I think, without looking.
9749.
9749. Okay.
Yeah, 48 and 4.
So get in there. The sponsoring game is going. Get in there and sponsor and make sure you vote and do all that good stuff. So, yeah, thanks, Bolon. I'll hand it back over to you.
Thank you, sir. Let's go over to Sunbear. How are you doing today, and what do you have coming up?
I'm doing pretty well. I think I'm doing better than Winston. He looked a little rough there, but don't worry, Winston. I'm gonna vote for you. I'm gonna get your 22% up a little bit, so it's the love is coming. You're gonna feel better real soon. Let's see. Yeah, so we've got some cool stuff happening. We just we've been working with Avalanche. They have their summit coming up in London, England, May 20th through the 22nd. And Pinecone and myself will actually be representing DeFi Kingdoms there. So we are going to jump in. It's actually, there's a lot of good opportunities here. Working with the Avalanche gaming guys to do some really great demos. I believe on the 21st, we've got their demo area booked the whole entire time. We're actually going to be working directly with all of the major Avalanche influencers as well to get them set up with their heroes and do some live streaming and show them how to do some fun things in the game. So that's going to be a lot of fun. You'll see some streams coming out of that. Yeah, we're gonna be there. So if you're gonna be around, hit us up, come by, have some fun with us, and spread the good word of DFK. So that's coming up in a couple weeks.
Awesome. Thank you, Sunbear. Over to you, Hubert. How are you doing today? And you want to talk a little bit about last night's release?
Sure. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. Thank you. Yeah, so in case you guys didn't notice, we released the final piece of our deal with Metis, which was the hosted tournament functionality. So now anyone in the community, any sponsors outside the community can create tournaments with basically pretty much all the same things that we can do with ours, though we have a little bit more control of a few things. So I did see there was one kind of test tournament put up, but with not very much notice, that did get canceled. So, I mean, it still is within the environment that we have as far as players. So, like, if you are creating tournaments, make sure you're giving it enough of an advance notice. that people are aware of it in advance, it's just so that make sure that people can play them. There's no requirements on like setting an entry fee or anything like that. So if you guys do want to make tournaments that are free, for example, that's an option. There are also some free hosting tokens that exist as well. They haven't been given out to anyone at this point, but if anyone uses like the image tiers that are available, you do get 1 or 2 free hosting tokens as well for that. So like the second tier gives you basically 2 tournaments to host, and the third gives you 3. And those tokens can be traded or sold as well if you get them. So just kind of another option, another kind of piece of functionality out there, and we're looking at potential ways to potentially reward some of those tokens for things in game as well. So be on the lookout for that. We haven't finalized anything on that front at this point, but yeah, really excited to see what comes of that. I think we have several things kind of planned in the future, but hopefully we'll see some of the guilds in the game or in our community run some tournaments, try out some different things. And yeah, I think there was something else that we added that was for Bolon to say. So let me know if I should say more, Bolon.
There is actually one going on right now as well. I wanted to give a shout out to Cool. He's got the Rolando required tournament that is actually
nice.
in progress as we speak. So
Nice.
the Tadpole
on that one. How is that?
Yeah, he's got what is it? The Coral brand, I think.
Oh, nice.
Deep Maw. Sorry.
Was there entry fee?
1 jewel.
1 jewel entry fee. Nice.
Yep. But you had to have a Rolando visage on at least one of your heroes. So.
Oh, also nice. Yeah, great to see people using the equipment qualifiers as well. I think that's a fun thing, and we're probably going to hopefully see more of that from these more community sponsored ones. So
hosted by the Frog Foundation,
the Tadpole Cup. That's cool,
right?
Glad to see that. Sorry, I didn't know that had happened. So
well done.
You. Cool.
Yeah, if you want to talk about the other 2 pieces of the hosted tournament launch, you're welcome to.
Okay, so let's see the other things that we added. We actually had a few things. One of them is just not quite all the way ready yet, so I'll wait till maybe next week to talk about that one. But as I stayed up very late last night, kind of finishing up the code update for that, and there's one bug I gotta go find. But let's see. So we added equipment restriction capabilities to the system. So I'm not sure if the front end has support for that for hosted tournaments yet. If it might be there, I'm not 100% sure, but whether or not, if it's there or not, it will be there soon. And we do plan to have a few tournaments this coming week that will restrict a couple different items. We're going to be restricting the usage of the Scally's Eye from any tournament that has a level requirement at 10 or below. And also we'll be restricting the original Gore Bow from any level 10 tournaments as well. So they'll still be usable in 15s and 20s, but we're just going to kind of cut those back just because it seems like they've been a little bit too useful in those tournaments, and people that have them have kind of a bigger advantage than those that don't. So we're going to give that a try and see, how that goes. And I don't see us doing too many other restrictions besides that for the time being, but we could always look into doing some other things as well. And yes, it did confirm the restrictions are not quite available yet for hosted tournament users, but they will be. But you can see that the restrictions are in place, I believe. So
nice.
Did I forget something? I think I did. There was even more.
Yeah, there is even more. Did we talk about the share function?
No, forgot about that one. So yep, there's also that. So there's a little share tournament button that's been added to the bottom of the tournament details screen now. So you can share that link directly to people and get them straight to the page they need to be on to see where the tournament is. Just a nice little handy quality of life feature to help kind of people share things more easily. And yeah, there's also the Visage thing. Did you want to talk about that one? I feel like I've taken all of it from you, Bolin.
It's not a problem. I'll talk about the Visage. Before we talk about the Visage, though, one last question for you. Did we talk about the change to joining constellations?
Oh, that too. Man, we did so many things, guys.
All the things.
So yeah, we also have updated the way that your participation is tracked, such that if a tournament gets canceled, it still counts as you having entered the tournament, for the purposes of that requirement that, like with the constellations that require that you enter the tournament within a short period of time. So if by chance a daily skirmish does not all the way fill up, but has more than 4 players that did try, they would be able to join the constellation afterwards without there being any fee or anything. So it'd be like a free tournament if that happens. So hopefully that doesn't happen. We would prefer all the tournaments to fill all the time. But you know, it has happened in the past, and like it's always, especially the worst when there's like 7 people that join. Just need that one more. So if that happens again, and now you'll be able to join the constellation at least and still get some tournament play out of it. So, and it won't cost you anything too. So actually it's kind of a nice little blessing, I guess, if you win that.
Nice little freebie. Awesome. Thank you, sir. Let's talk Visage. Yeah. So during the announcement last night of hosted tournaments, we also announced a new Visage as well as how to get that one. Because we're doing things a little bit different this time, and it is not for sale, but it can be earned. So for 90 days, anybody who hosts a tournament that runs will get one of the Visages. As well as anybody who participates in any tournament, whether it be a hosted tournament or one of ours, will get entered into a drawing. We are going to do a drawing every 30 days to pull winners for that. One thing to note, especially for the hosts, it's not going to be automatic. So you will also get your Visage after the 30 days. When we do the drawing, we will then disperse to everyone who has earned one of the new Visages. But I'm really excited for this one. It is the Matesian Gladiator. We have not shown it yet. However, we now have. So I just hit send on a tweet, and I dropped the link to it here in chat. Go check out the tweet and give it some love. But I will also show you guys here because I'm a very nice person like that. Oh, no, I won't. Oh, yes, I will. There we go. So this is the Matesian Gladiator Visage. So this Visage can be earned by hosting a tournament or by participating in any tournament. You'll be entered into a drawing. We will do those drawings every 30 days. We are going to do it for a total of 90 days. You can win more than once in the drawing. So if you're playing a bunch of tournaments, you have a bunch of entries, you can win multiple times. But really excited for that. Shout out to Metis, who is sponsoring this Visage. But really excited for the Visage itself because it looks really cool. Kudos to Second Best Dad. But also just for the new method of dispersing them rather than selling them, having them tied to tournament gameplay. So make sure you get in there and participate and get your chances to win.
Just to clarify.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yes, Sunbear. Real quick, just to clarify on the getting it. If you host a tournament, the tournament does have to actually run for you to receive it.
Yes.
What Bolin forgot to mention, I can't believe you forgot to mention this, was that you actually modeled for this Visage, if I remember correctly.
We all modeled for it a little bit in Denver this year, I think.
With host tournaments, it's kind of a fun time because this is what a lot of folks have been waiting for, to be able to create their own tournaments. That's part of why we're doing a big push to really get more influencers involved, like especially on Avalanche as we go to the summit. It's part of the reason we're connecting with groups like Arena. You'll notice we're casting this to Arena, even this AMA now, and going to be working more with them to create tournaments and get more exposure. So A lot of exciting pieces around this, and hoping to see a lot of fun tournaments come out of this and a lot of gladiators in the near future.
Yes, for sure. Hubert, any immediate thoughts? What about from free hosted tournament tokens?
Yep, even those would count, I believe. Unless
That would be
I'm
my thought as well.
misremembering. But yeah, so even those would count if you get those tokens. So yeah, if you do the higher tiers with the image options, that would give you extra tokens. So potentially you could get 3 visages from that one. I guess the one hosted that you paid for plus the 2 free tokens as well if they all ran. So yeah, there's a lot of options out there for you.
Nice. And then so sponsoring would not enter you into the visage drawing at this time. It is just for hosting and playing at the moment.
We could talk about that one maybe.
Yeah,
Maybe
we'll let you know. But as of now, it's hosting and playing, and then we'll go from there. Let's see. All right, so we are going to roll into our questions. I do see the question that just rolled into chat. However, it is actually essentially an AMA question that we're going to get to in just a minute anyway. So we are going to roll into our questions. Starting off, as is our tradition, with some Hubert Hour. The last week, near the end of the AMA, there was a question from chat about like auto XP generation. And so this was a question that's a follow-up on that front. The thought would be having an area called training camp. You would stake heroes in the camp, pay Jewel or Crystal to use the service, and it would grant XP. You can choose the difficulty, which would increase price, but also XP. Could be a power-up as well. So ultimately, it would be similar to Expeditions, but it would be more XP with no like quest rewards tied to it. Any thoughts on that idea?
Yeah, I think that's an interesting idea. Especially the no other rewards aspect of that, is that kind of helps on the like token economy side of the game. So yeah, kind of an interesting idea. Just more of a question of like when we would like prioritize that over the other things we're working on, because it is kind of something that probably would wait until we kind of knock out quite a few different things that we have on our plate at the moment if we were to do something like that. So yeah, I think it's an interesting idea. Don't expect to see anything come out of that though in like the short term.
Cool. Can we add an option to requeue the same team into hunts again, obviously post cooldown?
So yeah, we have had on our list like the ability to like select teams that you've used in the past, which I think is really what this question is asking for. And that's still on our list. And so I think eventually we will have kind of that capability of just, what are the previous teams you've used, and you can just select those and it'll select all the 3 heroes. I would like to get that in place eventually. I'm just not quite sure when.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. Thoughts on having test entries available for each hunt, so it doesn't use your 1 entry for the day, but it also doesn't have any rewards or anything, to allow players to experiment with accuracy, different comps, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that is an interesting idea. I think if we were to do something like that, we could potentially tie it to the testing grounds. I think there are some potential downsides with doing that with like a brand new hunt, but maybe after it's been out for a while, we could add it, just because also like when something's brand new, I'd prefer to kind of keep the challenge kind of coming with a cost. But yeah, I could see us potentially doing something along those lines for older hunts.
Awesome. Thank you. Let's see. I'm going to give you a little bit of a break here and take a few questions myself, actually. When offers and auctions for heroes and items, it is something that we've talked about before. It's also something that at one point we kind of had auctions. I think they were called Dutch auctions, if I remember right, on heroes. But with the nature of blockchain, it did not function the way that we needed it to. As far as items go, the bazaar is kind of auction, not like you're not bidding on an item directly, but it's a little more in that style than a dex or an AMM dex, that is, for example. Outside of that, it's something that we have talked about. It is something that could be interesting, but we really need like in-game communication of some sort first. So we would need some kind of like message board or mailbox or something to like house all of that. So definitely something that we've talked about, something that we're interested in, but need some other components in place. I'm actually going to pause for just a second. Winston, anything you want to say about your first fight?
No.
All right.
Nah, I'll say something. I'll say a little something about it. It was a good fight, Ibla. The level 6 is a tough one, man. I think I should have probably brought a healer instead of a warrior, but that's what I did, and that's the life I lead. Looking back and thinking like, maybe next time I'll not do that. Maybe next time I'll not do that. That didn't quite work, so maybe I'll try something else. So now I'm booting up the other match. Should be open here in a second now. Let's see.
There it is.
I don't even know what that is. Sorry, distractions. Okay. Yeah, so this is going to be, I believe he has 2 wizards that he's got going here. And if I'm not mistaken, this is a berserker. And he tossed me a bone by putting the level 6 Living Blade on a level 15 hero. He's like, I want it to be a little more balanced. So I'm sure it was a kindness, but I also have to point out that, like, you don't need to do all that. Come on, man. Come on now. I'm trying to win this and be cool. But
make sure that if you lost, there was an asterisk.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't know. I'm already gonna say that I'm sick. So if it's like, why didn't you win? Like, dude, I've been sick. So that's where I'm at. But I don't know. I feel like this game might be a little closer. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Neither of us have healers, if I recall correctly, right? He's doing both. Yeah, okay. No healers, so this one might be a little bit more my speed. We'll see how it goes.
All right, redemption time. I'm here for it.
All right. I just got to say, if you still need another excuse, you can say you're distracted by the Vizzies. This is a great, very distracting combination of Vizzies, I must say.
Yeah, it's some good looking heroes there. Good looking gear too. Got everything from the Shelmet, swearing hat.
I actually will just note that I don't think there are any Vizzies in play right now. I think that's all real equipment.
What?
That is correct.
Yeah, because that's the coral armor on the wizards, right?
Yeah, it's the light armor.
Nice.
Actually,
abyssal.
Well, they look amazing.
They look great. It's true.
They do indeed. All right, let's see. Back to questions. This is an interestingly worded one, but I think I know what they mean. How much do we care about staked Jewel? Is getting more Jewel staked a priority or even a good thing for the project? Or is it better that Jewel gets put into liquidity? So the short answer is yes, we do care about staked Jewel. Getting more Jewel staked is good for the project because that is Jewel that is locked up and out of the circulating supply, which is always helpful. However, it is also helpful for Jewel to be put into liquidity because that's what enables trading and people to be able to buy Jewel. So they are both important without a doubt. It's something that it's just more use cases and more utility, more ways that you can use the token. But they both serve kind of opposite purposes that are both very good for the token and the project as a whole. you need liquidity, but you also want less circulating to help on the demand side of things. So yes is the answer, I guess, across the board there, which led to the second part of the question of, should we utilize XP vials to reward jewel staking? I can, also extend this to other things. Should we be, rewarding jewel staking in more ways? So right now, obviously, the primary direct reward for jewel staking is fee sharing, but you also get access to power ups as a benefit of jewel staking, which is obviously a very useful thing for various functions in the game. So as far as more rewards going to jewel stakers, it is something that we talk about, and it's something that we can talk about the XP vial idea in one of our tokenomics meetings as well. It's all a balance, and so especially with jewel staking, yes, jewel staking is good and beneficial, but it also does not directly contribute to the in-game economy. So if we start rewarding them with things that have an impact on the in-game economy, it becomes potentially unbalanced and unsustainable. So we just have to be attentive in the approach to that, so that we can make sure that we aren't having a negative impact on the economy by rewarding something that does not directly benefit the economy. So it's all a give and take on that front, but definitely something that we talk about regularly, continue to talk about, and we'll talk about the XP vial idea specifically in one of our upcoming tokenomics committees as well. Let's see, one more for me. Before retiring duels, can we open up the possibility to claim past seasons? It looks like Sarandale, you can't claim past seasons right now. I did flag this up to Fox. I will follow up with him on it as well, and we'll make sure that we get that set up so that everybody can claim any pending rewards that they still have. We don't want anybody to not get their rewards, of course. So yes, we will make sure that we get that done. All right. Now that I feel like I've talked a lot, we're going back to Hubert. Would we consider implementing a global daily cap on in-game resources that would limit how many materials can be extracted based on the total supply within the game ecosystem? So it would be a dynamic function. The more of the material that exists in general, the less that can be produced. As the supply gets burned down, the amount that can be produced goes up, etc.
Yeah, so I do think that's an interesting idea. There are some challenges with doing something in that specific way that would maybe, if we were to adjust how things are minted, I think it would end up being something different, just because everything is multi-chain. For example, the amount of gold that exists across all the chains that have gold versus the amount of gold that exists on a specific chain is going to be different, and the contracts are not going to have access to the global supply unless we kind of built some big Oracle system, which generally those big Oracle systems are a lot to do for something like that. So yeah, I think in general, if we did do something like this, it would be something of a different nature. I have kind of considered things like this for the future, but I don't see us doing anything very immediately on that. But when we do get to the point of implementing travel, for example, I think we're going to revisit a lot of the old systems in the game and see how things should be adjusted to kind of be in that new paradigm of things being on the map in different places rather than always being accessible for everybody at all the time.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. Another one for you. Would we consider implementing a system to temporarily down level heroes for PvP? For example, if you have a level 15 hero, you could scale them down to participate in level 5 tournaments. Obviously, gear would have to be handled appropriately as well.
Yeah, so we have this neat system coming out with Divine Essence called level resetting, where you can reset your level down to 1 and then level up to whatever level you want, and then you can level back up to the level that you were at. So I know that's a little bit snarky to say, but I think that is the system that we have for that. If we were to just allow you to dynamically go back to any level that you had in the past. One, we'd have to add more tracking than I think we have right now, to like record every single level up, and track that everywhere if we need it on chain. With our combat engine, it's possible to do that a little bit easier, but like for things to be checked on the contract side, that would add like a whole big kind of bit of rework that we'd have to do. And I think just in general, with our game with as many heroes as we have, and kind of the structure of everything with how summoning works, I'd rather that people, rather than just have 3 heroes that you can do everything with, have several teams of heroes that are, kind of geared for specific purposes. Just because that kind of gives more utility to heroes in general, rather than, just, oh, you got your 3, you don't need to do anything else. I think would kind of go in the wrong direction for what our game is, probably.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. How difficult / engaging would it be for heroes to have different codices for PvP and PvE?
So yeah, it would be pretty difficult to do that. I mean, if you take stock of how many classes we have out right now, we have 7, I think, that are now implemented. And until recently, we really haven't been able to prioritize implementing codexes. So now, essentially, we have, up to 32 when all classes are out, kind of total codices to implement. If we were to have a different one for every class for PvP versus PvE, then that would, just double the number that we would need to do. So, I don't see us doing that anytime in the current path for us. If there is if Wizard is being too strong in PvE, and too weak in PvP, we could look at adjusting just how Wizard works in general to make it a little bit more even. But I think there are other cases for classes as well where, just because of the nature of PvE, it's a little bit, you can do a little bit more with them that an opponent in PvP will be able to kind of predict and, cut you off on your strategies a little bit more. So that's all just kind of a balancing game for us, and we'll just keep trying to make things better. But yeah, if we were ever to do a different codex for every class for PvP versus PvE, it'd probably be after we had every class out and implemented. So yeah.
Cool. Thank you, sir. Winston, anything you'd like to say about that fight?
I knew I should have waited to take a bite of my sandwich, but
I tell you perfectly.
Don't come back to me. Here we are. This is it. I'm going to just work through it. This is going to be awesome. The AI is going to try to figure this out and just not have a chance. It's going to be great. Oh, excuse me. Should I take another bite, you think?
Yes, for sure.
All right. So, great game. Ibla came with it. That was a gnarly pyroclast at the end there. I think I could have... I saw it coming and tried to dodge it with the old evasion potion thing. Just cleaned me up on both my dudes got rocked. So, thank you for fighting me, Ibla. I think that kind of went how everybody thought it was going to go this time. Yeah. No, thanks for fighting me, dude. I'm going to get back to eating my sandwich and stop freaking everybody out with this.
Thank you, Winston and Ibla, for the fights as always. And you know what? Kudos to you, Winston, for being willing to fight Ibla, because Ibla's a beast. So shout out to you for taking him on. Enjoy your sandwich.
You're freaking me out.
We're gonna switch back to questions and try to distract you all from what's happening, but we are going to give Hubert a little bit of a break again. So this first one I'm going to take With talk of a potential recession and tightening across the tech and gaming industries, is the team currently exploring any cost optimization strategies? Always, literally at all times. And so, yes, we talked about this, I think, a couple weeks ago about, having some different levers we can pull on costs. But particularly on the tech side, that's something that we're always looking to optimize, looking for ways to be more efficient and to, spend less to run everything that we run. I have to give a huge shout out to Pinecone in particular, who has done a ton of cost saving optimizations. That's why a lot of times y'all will see him pop in Discord and say, "Hey, I'm doing this. You shouldn't notice any difference," because he is migrating things, updating things, using different tools to lower costs across the board. So big kudos to him, because he spends a no small amount of time making sure that we are as efficient as possible on that side. And he's not the only one, but he definitely comes through on it a lot. But yeah, it's something that we're always evaluating, always looking to see if we can, cut some costs in different ways in different areas, while still maintaining, of course, the quality that we all expect. All right.
I just add real quick, Bolon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you've been around any amount of time over almost the last 4 years, and seen what this team has done, ways that we have thrived, survived, then you'll know that this is definitely something that's always been on our radar. I think we've got a huge shout out to the leadership of DFK. Namely, I would say Dreamer, for really, keeping track, and looking at ways to keep us alive and thriving. Partnerships, making sure that no matter what's going on, that we're always able to grow, always able to build, and even being really thoughtful about spending on advertising, for example, or travel or whatever it is. Just really partnering in ways that makes it so that this is always sustainable and available, and because it is something, it's our flagship project. It is our passion project, and it is something that you all love as much as we do. So yeah, we're always, like Bolon said, always thinking about that, and we've got a track record to prove it.
For sure. Well, don't go anywhere, because this next question is for you, Sunbear, anyway. While we are waiting on future releases, would it make sense to incentivize and potentially give some funding to projects who want to use DFK assets to build mini games, as we've seen a few do in the past?
Yeah, I love that question. If you think about where we were 3 years ago, one of my first jobs with this group was to try and obtain some funding for community to build. And then we built a program around how to submit ideas and to work with specifically the assets within the game, and to build mini games and things like that around it. And I wish we were doing that right now. I do wish that. Unfortunately, we don't have a grant to put out to the community, but we have found lots of other ways, through the years to partner, to support. For a while there, we were doing, some vouchers that worked really well for some of the other games that were using assets. We also built out the castle, where people that are utilizing assets in game, or who are directly partnering with us in their games, exchanging IP, things like that, can be featured. If you have an idea, if there's something that you really want to bring, hit us up. Let's talk. Let's brainstorm. Let's see what could be done. Maybe it's a Vizzy or something. Maybe it's a sponsorship. Maybe it's getting a little more exposure, through social media or in the game in some way. Or some way that you could that you're asking to work with assets. And if Pinecone opens something on the API, that would be helpful, or whatever. We have to be creative, because there's not a ton of money right now that we can throw into these kinds of things, but we can get creative and be supportive, and get excited about great ideas. So yeah, let's talk. Hit me up, hit Bolon up, and we'll sit down and see what we can do.
Yeah, we're here for you guys. Winston, the Tadpole Cup is in their finals at the moment. If you want to pop that up on screen share, we can watch it.
Yeah, Bolin, I'd love to. What's that? Well, I probably didn't.
How many sandwiches are you eating?
It's just one sandwich. There's only.
My timing is impeccable, though.
Oh, I've been eating it the whole time. So there was no moment you could have called on me and had it not been like eating a sandwich. The other thing is like I like to get the Jimmy John's veggie sandwich, and then I just stuff a shitload of chips in there, so it's like turbo crunchy.
Actually, that's exactly what my wife does. Are they barbecue chips?
No, I just like the regular ones. I'm not, trying to get too crazy with.
All right, fair enough.
Well, there you go. Good luck to O'Cool and Mellow Fellow. I mean,
I'm really.
This is going to be great.
Winning his own tournament, huh?
I know. Sorry, O'Cool, but I got to root for Mellow Fellow here because like you can't win your own tournament, you know. Awesome. Let's see. Jumping back over to questions and jumping back over to Hubert to answer them. So, as of last night, all 3 stages of our Metis grant agreement build are complete. Wizard Codex is also released, and Divine Essence is around the corner. Great job. But what's next for DFK?
I mean, you just said it. Divine Essence is around the corner.
That's it. That's all you get.
Now, I mean, we have a lot of things on our roadmap that we still haven't done yet that are still there. We have like the next class that we're going to be focusing on. Let's see. There's durability is also on that list, and we also have kind of plans for expansions of our PvE content in some ways. So there's kind of a lot of different things that we're planning. It's also possible that, if another deal, kind of like the Metis grant came around, that we would potentially get, focused on a specific thing for a little while. But at the moment, I'm trying to have us tie up those loose ends. Like pet combat bonuses are another thing that we're working on, probably other things that I haven't mentioned that just didn't come to my mind. But I do want to kind of, if we can knock out a bunch of those really close to being done things, or things that have already been announced. That's kind of where my focus is right now.
Sorry to just butt in here with what you were talking about, but I just wanted to mention that I feel like I've heard Typical say that he's working on pet combat bonuses probably 100 times. So that tells you, I mean, I don't know if someone has invented a measuring, like a Venn diagram is the wrong word, but a measuring tool, a chart to know that like once Typical says it a certain amount of times, that means it's done. So you can say like, if he said it 100 times, that means he's 32% of the way done. We take how long that is, and this is the math you should be working on, Hubert. Like game math is cool, but this is the stuff we need. The when math.
In this case, it's 1 mention per bonus.
Yeah, I mean, looking at it, it looks like he has about 21 bonuses left to implement and he's completed 57 others. And then once that's all done, we need to actually have, Winston and Sasha get locked in their dungeons for a long time and test every single one of those and make sure that they're at levels that aren't going to break the game. And then adjust those and then test again until everything is good.
There's so many too.
There are so many. I mean, a lot of them are pretty straightforward, like simple single buffs to something. But not everyone is that way. And even the ones that are that way, some might be too strong right now. Even every time I look at it, I'm like, but a lot of progress has been made. He has been focusing on it. He also just, whenever there are bugs or he assisted with the wizard implementation as well. Like he can get pulled off of pet bonuses pretty often. It's happened a lot. So while Winston has heard him say that, there's always this thing or that thing that kind of takes away from the time, but it's getting closer.
He says lots of stuff. He says lots of stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Is getting a stone remaining tracker in PvP high priority for your opponent because you have your own?
Yes, it is a pretty high priority. The way we're going to do it, though, is making it take a little bit longer. But I think you guys will like it.
Hubert's walking the tightrope.
That's all I'll say there.
Nice. All right. Any updates on having the armor and weaponsmith visit the Sunderdials?
Not really. It is another one of those things on the list, though, and as I mentioned before, trying to have those things come back into focus, the things that we can knock out faster or slow, than others, or things that are almost ready. So that's definitely somewhere on the list. I'm not sure where, though, unfortunately.
Nice.
Sorry to butt in again, but can we talk about some of these super cool icons that we're seeing and some of the skills we're seeing too? Like, I'm pretty sure that's not it. Where am I going here? Okay, I know we changed osmotic. Is that how you say it?
Osmotic.
Osmotic. Okay, it's kind of a zzz in there. Okay, I know we changed that recently, and I think this is like the first time I've seen anyone like use it in a combat situation. And then aside from that, not only is he using, I can't believe I did that again. Not only is he using osmotic word, but he's also using future sight. Like nobody uses future sight. Like I use future sight sometimes because I think it's badass, but nobody else uses it. So it's super cool just to see different skills, different stuff. It's like people starting to branch out a little bit with what they're trying to do. And then you look at his other seer and he's using, it's like a completely different build. Like this seer is going to be good for doing damage and also has a big heal he's sitting on. And then I would say that the barrier stone is more of a this is like an opportunistic thing. So if you're let's see here, this one, yeah, if your artificer grows on somebody, you can hit him with the barrier stone and crank that thing way up. So super cool to see all that different strategy and skills. And then seeing a berserker and 2 warriors is kind of fun. And then also, I don't know if anybody else saw that, but that's the crown. It's the crown doing its shit. Call of the Colosseum. There you go. You can see it. It's pretty badass. So I'm going to get back to the game so you guys can actually watch the fight and see all that happen. But
the crown is the cornucopia above them, right?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. It's like a horn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a horn.
No, is it a horn? Okay.
I mean, what is a cornucopia, right? It's just like a shitty horn, isn't it?
A horn full of stuff, so you can't use it as a horn. And usually it's
basically
woven out of twigs and stuff too. So
the worst kind of horn you could possibly imagine.
All right, it's a horn. I'm sorry.
Cool.
I don't know why I try to use words. I always use the wrong ones. But
I'm sorry.
that is a really cool looking emblem. There was actually an emblem, Winston, in your second match with Ebla. That was like a gnarled staff that was like purple around it.
Magic potion.
Ah.
Yeah, so he fed his wizard a magic potion and then he put a pyroclast directly into my dome for like 800 cumulative damage or something. So he's using that with some precision and skill, I would say.
Yeah, I'm going to be stealing that strategy. I like that. All right. Let's see. So we are going to move into our final question for today, but it's a pretty fun one. When will there be a DFK devs tournament of the team battling it out with each other? I'll kick things off, but I want to know if anybody else has input too. I think this would actually be super fun. So we'll have to, figure out some logistics and work some things out. But I think it would be super fun to do a tournament of the team and know who in the team reigns supreme. I'd like to call round 1 against Winston just because I am undefeated against Winston, but we'll see how it goes.
I'm just slow rolling you, dude. We're gonna get together when it counts, and it's gonna be It's going to be bad for you. It's going to be a massacre.
Winston's hustling me right now. But yeah, I think it would be a really cool idea. I think it's something that we can talk about internally and figure out how we can make it happen and make it fun. But I think it would be super cool to do. Winston, do you have any thoughts on the idea outside of hustling me?
Just that I think it's cool too. I don't know that there's really much else to say about it other than that. It just seems like a great idea. I'm actually planning on trying to do tournament style things in the future. I just didn't really have a lot of time this week to dig into it and have. I mean, tournament style for like the AMA bouts. So that way, we can have sudden death, and we can have tomatoes, and we can have some more excitement. So I'm gonna try to do that, see if it works. But also, we'll see how it goes.
if you're gonna do triple seer again, tomatoes are required.
Yeah, for sure. We learned a valuable lesson that day. Valuable. So yeah, no, I think it's a cool idea. I would love to participate in it, as long as like Bolon all of a sudden is like, we have to find out who reigns supreme. Can't we just have a nice time?
No.
Does it have to be like a battle to the death?
Yes.
All right. Thanks for your honesty. At least I know where I stand on this. I know
the only chill is in the wizard. Okay, there is no chill outside of that.
Zero. Zip.
Zip definitely has no chill. Sunbear, and any thoughts on a dev tournament? You participating?
Yeah, man. I'm ready to get my butt kicked by Winston, but I think what I want more than anything is to be able to say and claim, maybe even put it on my resume, that I beat like the creators at their own game. So maybe I need to like go against Hubert. I want to beat Hubert at his own game.
Hubert, you're getting called out. Any response?
I mean, come at me, bro.
I'm coming.
Fearless. Absolutely fearless.
Winston, I might need some tutelage.
I'll try, man. We in Denver, we walked through the box, and it seemed like you could probably take him. Did you fought him, didn't you? In Denver?
Who, Hubert?
No, you.
No, I fought Styx.
No, the rock box. I mean, we were. It was like 1 a.m, and it was like, "How do you do the rock box?" And I was.
That's right. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
so,
You did. You did a good job teaching
you.
How to take down
halfway
the
there.
chickens.
You can beat the rock box. You can beat Bolon. Don't even worry about it. Probably beat.
I'm not worried about Bolon. I'm worried about Hubert. That's who I'm going
beat
after.
Hubert. I don't know.
All right, we'll see.
He's probably going to have some big brain strategy, so you're going to have to just luck your way through it.
We're gonna have to help me distract him.
Well, release balance changes like 2 hours before.
Yeah, I was about to say we're gonna have to code lock a couple days prior.
We could also like sabotage his house or something. It's like, oh, it's 2 minutes till the game, and then maybe
your internet doesn't work.
Power goes out. The internet doesn't work. A small fire starts on your roof, and you have to leave the house.
Whoa! Now,
Wow,
anything could happen.
We're just brainstorming.
Anything could happen. I'll cut this out of the transcript, so don't worry. There'll be no record of this.
I know I said there was no chill, but we're damn.
Real.
Well, you guys heard it here first. The most competitive scene in the DFK gaming will be the dev tournament. But yeah, super good suggestion. I think it would be a lot of fun. We'll do some work on that front and see what we can get set up. Maybe we'll wait until the next class is available and we'll do a dev tournament with the next class, but no one else has access to it yet. I could be actually.
Oh, that's just cruel.
I started it as a joke, but now I really like the idea. All right. Well, anyway, we'll brainstorm on that front, and yeah, we'll have some fun. But with that, we are going to move into our wrap up for today. It looks like this match might be coming to a close, so we're going to see if it happens to time correctly. If not, then we'll just do some awkward rambling at the end to see the end of this match. But it's looking like O'Cool might be able to close it out here pretty soon, unless Mellow Fellow has a surprise up his sleeves. All right. As always, thank you everyone who has tuned in live. Thank you to everybody who will listen to this recording later, and also those of you who choose to read this transcript instead. Thank you to everybody who has submitted questions. Please make sure you do keep them coming, or there will just be more awkward rambling. So make sure you get your questions submitted, AMA questions channel in Discord or talk.defykingdoms.com. Keep them coming. Ask us what you want to know. I know you guys have questions. Let us answer them for you. With that, don't ape into broken mechanics. Do have fun playing Wizards. Get out there and host your own tournaments. You know, if you've got something that you think people would like, you've got ideas, throw them up there. Get some people participating and let's have some fun with it. There's all kinds of options, so much flexibility. So have a good time there. Stay tuned for the Visage giveaway. Like I said, it'll be 30 days before we do the first drawing, but every tournament that you participate in, you will get an entry, and every tournament that you host, you will get a Visage as long as that tournament runs. But make sure you stay tuned a little bit later today. We will be putting out next week's tournaments. Of course, they are already available on the Google Calendar as well, but we'll be getting them configured and set up in game. In the meantime, let's go over to Hubert for any final thoughts. I'm guessing Ebla did not want to join us today because he's not here. So I'm going to make that assumption.
That's correct.
All right, cool. Hubert, any final thoughts?
Oh my goodness. It looks like Mellow Merchant might be turning that around. That was a good osmotic ward that he did earlier. I'm just really happy with our progress as a development team. I know it does take us a lot of time to release things, but honestly, we're firing on all cylinders over here, and like everyone on the team is just doing excellent work. Shout out to Mr. Zipper for all of the work that he put into the front end for the hosted tournaments. A lot falls on his plate, and he's just been handling it all very expertly, and really appreciate that. Also to everyone else on Team Pinecone for making sure that we have, all the back end connections that really make everything work that you guys just don't see, like super critical to the whole everything. Our art team is just producing really great stuff all the time. I just really, really enjoy working on the team and really enjoy where we're going with everything. I think we're really starting to get a lot of big pieces in place now, and now we can focus on a lot of the smaller things that you guys have been looking forward to for a long time. Just really looking forward to, just continuing to deliver.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. Sunbear, any final thoughts?
Yeah. This is a fun match to watch. I'm enjoying this. This is the time to create community. DFK is about community. Community is what's been sustaining us for several years now. And now it's like never been easier to create new community, to bring in, like if you've got a group of people or you want to introduce the game to, get them in a tournament, get them started, get our influence. I mean, there's so many people streaming and having fun with this. They'll be happy to jump in and play, or one of us, we'd be happy to come and play as well. I just want to, call everybody out to make more community. I was talking to a guy cutting my hair yesterday about what we're building and what just came out and everything, and he's texting me about how to get his heroes and how to get started, and put them right in patrol so we can learn that battle engine and everything. It's an exciting time. Join us in spreading the word and getting it out there so we can have more fun with more friends. And shout out to major partners. Metis has been amazing this year with this build. Avalanche continues to show up for us. I think that's going to be a really important partnership as we really get this out there more and more and build out these new features coming. YGG and the new Gap campaign coming, and just really solid partnerships out there. So yeah, really excited about it.
Also let him know that he did a great job. You look very dapper today. So he did good work as well.
I will let him know. Thanks, man. I could even eat a sandwich and look good.
There you go. Oh, I thought Mellow Fellow had closed it out in that moment, but there is a second life in play. But will it be enough to matter coming back with the exhaust? We're going to find out momentarily. Yes, also have fun at Avalanche Summit in London this time. But it should be a really good time, and looking forward to seeing pictures and hearing all about it when you get back as well. And appreciate you and Dreamer and Pinecone and everybody else who regularly hops on airplanes to go represent DFK all over the world. Huge shout out to Mellow Fellow. Way to prevent O'Cool from winning his own tournament. Well done. Huge shout out to you, sir. What an ending there too. You really turned it around there at the end. It was looking grim for you, and you came back. Well played.
With all mages too. That was really impressive. It was like that was a full melee team against them and pulled it off. So, you know,
He had a seer in there as well. I mean, I guess seer fits into the mage.
yeah.
category. Fair enough. All right.
They're all using wands there.
They're
Is
in
that
the
a
magical thing that I can't say. I was gonna say it, but now I'm scared I'm gonna say it wrong. But they're in that new tournament type. That's all.
Menagerie.
Menagerie. Yeah, there you go. They're in that.
Just think of menage. Think of that, and don't say it like that. Does that help? Or is that worse?
No, what?
Winston,
You know how to
take
say it.
another bite. Just eat more sandwich. Stop talking.
All right, fair.
But with that, keep talking. Winston, any final thoughts, any message from Ibla, and go ahead and give us the sign off.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks everybody for. Okay, so I'll do mine first then. Yeah. Thanks everybody for joining us. Lots of fun today. Thanks Ibla for fighting me. He's been hounding me to fight him for a couple weeks, and so I was actually saving him for the wizard, hoping that maybe I could, drop something new on him and have an opportunity that way. But even that didn't quite work out the way it was supposed to. So thanks for fighting me. Good times. Thanks everybody for hanging out and listening to us. Thanks for your patience and for playing with us. And Ibla said he actually kind of rattled a few things off. I usually have to, no offense to anybody, but I usually have to massage these a little bit to combine them into, a thought here. So first thing he said is he really is digging the equipment changes, specifically the Gorbo getting pulled out, the original Gorbo getting pulled out of level 10. He likes that. That's really going to balance stuff. He mentioned he is outspoken about level 10 bouts. So that's going to change those up a little bit. So he's happy about that. He loves the wizard and is hoping for the scholar next. He thinks the arcane power mechanism is good. He just said he likes it. That's all. And he said, I thought that this was awesome. He said he used his time to make a direct shout out to Hubert and Workhorse to take a look at the tier 2 skill for the wizard. It seems like the fire and ice are just left behind because you need that arcane power. Like it's just given too much arcane power, maybe. I don't know. And then the last thing he said was Ibla and Easy isn't going anywhere regardless of jewel price. So that's Eternal Zenith. That's his guild. Those guys have been with us the whole time. They're super cool. I believe the Three Wolves is Eternal Zenith. We haven't seen him in a long time. So maybe if I literally, let's put a bounty on him. I'll give someone 100 jewel if you can get Three Wolves to come back and stay in the chat for 3 days in a row or something.
I thought he had to fight you in an AMA.
No, I don't care about that. No. Nah, I don't care about that. Just get him to come back in the chat and come hang out. I know he was it's not like he left. He was he moved and then he has a river now or something. I don't know, man. If I had a river, I'd probably be doing that all the time too. So
it's a lot easier to touch grass if you've got your own river.
Yeah. So go get him back. Everybody send him a message. Maybe not everybody. In fact, don't tell him about this at all. Just get him back. But don't tell him about this at all. And yeah, I'm just super stoked for the future. Super stoked to have so many serious players and casual players and everybody having fun. So thank you so much for hanging out with us, and everybody get ready because here it comes. I am very bullish.
Bullish.
Thank you all, and we will see you next week.
DeFi Kingdoms, where you can summon heroes, trade with other players, quest, and fight challenging enemies in a fantasy world brought to life in pixel art animation. Command your legion, claim your legacy.